Every great Bible story has a shadow side. We speak endlessly of David, the shepherd boy who became king, the man after God's own heart. But behind almost every major moment in his life stands a woman whose name is whispered more than spoken. Her name is Bathsheba. Tonight we do what most teachers avoid. We look at the story from her eyes, or at least as close as Scripture allows us to come. It is springtime, the time when kings go out to war. David, however, stays behind in Jerusalem. The army is fighting Ammonites. He is restless. He walks on the roof of the king's house at evening, and there he sees her, Bathsheba, daughter of Eliam, wife of Uriah the Hittite, bathing. The text is brief, almost clinical. It does not tell us her thoughts. It does not tell us whether she knew the king was watching. It only tells us what David did next. He sent messengers. They brought her to him. She came. He slept with her. She returned to her house. And then the verse that changes everything. The woman conceived, and she sent and told David, "I am pregnant." In that moment, Bathsheba is no longer just a beautiful woman on a roof. She is pregnant with the child of the king, and her husband is on the battlefield, loyal, honorable, far from home. David panics. He calls Uriah back from the front, under the pretense of wanting a report. Uriah arrives. David questions him, gives him wine, tries to send him home to sleep with his wife. Uriah refuses. "As surely as you live, I will not go to my house. The ark and Israel and Judah are staying in tents. How can I go to my house to eat, drink, and sleep with my wife?" David's plan fails, so he writes a letter. Put Uriah in the front line where the fighting is fiercest. Then withdraw from him so he will be struck down and die. Uriah carries his own death warrant back to the battlefield. Joab obeys. Uriah dies. Bathsheba mourns. After the mourning period ends, David sends for her again. She becomes his wife. She bears a son. And the text delivers one of the most chilling lines in Scripture. But the thing that David had done displeased the Lord.
You are the man, the rich man who took the poor man's land. The Lord has seen your sin. You are the man, the rich man who took the poor man's land. The Lord has seen your sin.
God sends Nathan the prophet. Nathan tells a story. A rich man steals a poor man's only lamb, the lamb that ate from his table, slept in his arms, and slaughters it for a guest. David explodes in anger. As the Lord lives, the man who did this deserves to die. Nathan looks straight at him. You are the man. Nathan pronounces judgment. The sword will never depart from your house. I will raise up evil against you from your own household. The child born to you will die. David repents, immediately, publicly, completely. Psalm 51 is believed to have been written in these moments, but the child still dies. Bathsheba mourns again. David comforts her. She conceives again. This time the child lives. They name him Solomon. and God sends word through Nathan. Call him Jedediah, beloved of the Lord. Bathsheba is one of the most complex women in Scripture because she appears in two very different roles. First, she is the victim of power. A woman summoned by the king. A woman whose husband was murdered to cover the king's shame. A woman who lost her child as part of divine judgment. But later, she is the mother of the wisest king Israel ever had. She sits beside Solomon on a throne at his right hand. She helps secure his succession against Adonijah's rebellion, 1 Kings 1-2. She speaks with authority in the royal court.
You are the man, the rich man who took the poor man's land. The Lord has seen your sin.
Rabbinic tradition, especially in the Talmud and Midrash, often portrays her more positively than many modern readers do. Some rabbis insist she was not bathing seductively but performing ritual immersion, mikveh. Others emphasize that David, not Bathsheba, bore the guilt of adultery and murder. Yet the text itself remains silent on her intentions. We do not know her heart. We only know what happened to her. What we do know is this: Bathsheba survived David's sin. She survived the loss of her husband. She survived the loss of her child. She survived the judgment that fell on the house of David. And through her came Solomon, the king of peace, the builder of the temple, and, according to Matthew 1, an ancestor in the line of the Messiah. Bathsheba's story is not clean. It is not comfortable. It is not a fairy tale. It is a story of sin with real victims, of power misused, of consequences that echo for generations. But it is also a story of grace that refuses to be defeated. God did not abandon Bathsheba. He did not write her out of the story. He wrote her into the most important lineage in human history. If you have ever felt like the victim of someone else's sin, if you have ever felt like your story was ruined beyond repair, Bathsheba stands as quiet proof. God can take the darkest chapter and make it part of His greatest redemption. If this story touched you, leave a like, share it with someone who needs to hear about God's redeeming power, and drop a comment below. What part of Bathsheba's story surprised you most? Or where have you seen God bring beauty from brokenness in your own life? Subscribe if you want more deep dives into the hidden lives of Scripture. New story every Sunday. Thank you for watching.